Man, ES is on some type of rocket fuel. Um, yeah, it's been quite crazy to see this breakout we've gotten since we put in this failed breakdown that we talked about a week ago, last Wednesday, at 73.25. We put in this macro failed breakdown and finally broke out of this flag plus these two basing ranges that we'd spent essentially like we had talked about for the last few videos. We'd basically been in these ranges for about a month or so, the entirety of July. And we finally broke out of it on Thursday afternoon. And once we broke out, there really has not been any looking back. It's basically been a lockout rally since then. And we have just trended quite high. I mean, we are now, let's see, about 420 something points off of our entry from last Wednesday evening. So if you followed the system and you've held a runner, congrats, awesome. This is kind of what the upside can give you when you follow a system, right? People often ask, like, hey, how do I know when these big squeezes and big runs are going to come in, and they start feeling FOMO about not being in? Well, this is the best way to be in them. It's to always keep a runner handy at hand. That way, if we do ever, break out, which is obviously rare, but whenever we do, you are in position for it in some way, shape, or form, and are able to capitalize when the market is locked out. So that's what we've gotten. It's definitely been quite crazy, but just from a technical lens, I think, us breaking out of this big flag plus a month long of consolidation of being in a nice tight range, this is what you can get, and this is what you can expect. So, the question now is what's next, right? What do we do from here? And really all week so far, it's just basically been some nice you know you haven't really been able to get an entry, right? So now the best bet is either we get some nice consolidation here sideways, and get some constructive consolidation and potentially form a new range up here, or we get a deeper elevator sell down to some potential nicer support levels where you can get in long. But other than that, it's quite tough. And so I think the best way to approach sessions, um, like we've had this week, is when you see that the environment is not conducive to day trading, just because the volatility is so low and it's just a lockout rally up. The best thing to do is just take some time off of your trading platform, right? Work on other things, work on maybe other skills to help assist with trading. But there's no point in opening your platform where it's just a lockout rally like this. The best thing to do is just let ES cool off, either in the form of a nice sell, or start building some sideways basing. And that takes some time. It's not going to happen in a day or two, but hopefully we can start that process here. So going into the rest of the week, we're still quite in the stratosphere here, well, above, we've made all-time highs here. So there aren't going to be a ton of great trades from here on out. One thing we can potentially look out for is to see if we get some potentially, within the next two sessions to end this week, if we can get some sideways basing, and start forming a mode 2 range up here. Or if we can get a deeper sell, we do have some support levels that we could watch out for. So for example, there is this nice shelf here at 76.32. Could watch out for a failed breakdown of that later this week if we are able to get a nice sell. But if we're not able to, then we'll have to see if there's some sideways basing that goes on. We did have this shelf here at 77.63, and we've kind of been chopping around it all day today. Finally swept it into the close today. So we'll see if this can potentially put in a nice little liquidity grab to get us back up. or if we need to keep on selling down. But just want to send a reminder that it is important to know after we have rallied over 450 points in a couple of sessions. Nothing here is going to be amazing quality. For us to really get some high quality stuff, we need to see quite a bit of a sell, or at least another session or two of starting to give us some idea of what a mode 2 basing range might be. So, hopefully a lot of you guys are still holding runners or and are in from last Wednesday's long. Just goes to show you the power of running the system and kind of what you can get out of it whenever ES does decide to violently break out.